Following program is brought to you by Bad Bitches and Good Weed, Black Seinfeld, Show About Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's the one and only Giovanni Anglin, Trinidaddy, Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Suck Panyamada, Keep It Tailored all day. Hello everyone, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever the hell y'all are in the world. What's up?
Yo, what's going on? It's Bastion. This is recording live from LA.
Woo.
Still a little bit sunny out. No, it's completely dark out here. But Gio is in Brooklyn.
West Side Bastion out here, LA. I know you've been smoking that weed. It's
another beautiful episode of Black Seinfeld. What's going on?
That's right. I know y'all can't see it right now, but Bastion, he has his LED light situated right now. It's green, reflective of the trees, reflective of the earth, because Earth Day is coming up on the 22nd as well. It's a representation of growth. It's a representation of the weed, because he is in LA now. That's what they're known for. Is every block smelling like weed now over there at the moment?
Yes, it's a different type of Earth Day, but I could say it's pretty much closed out. It's like, I think 420 no longer has that same culture difference, because you pretty much, if you smoke weed on a regular, you're going to continue smoking weed on the regular.
That's right.
So this day is nothing special. It's like every other day. It's just a day that we point and say, hey, today's that day. So I think it lost its juice.
It has definitely lost its allure ever since it's been legal, but also everyone's been
in the proper states.
Like in the proper states, like us here. It's been legal by you for damn near ever now, but over here in New York, it's definitely lost its essence. But I'll say this: if you're a proper stoner, every day is 420 day for you, anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So get faded and get your hair braided. Ooh wee! All right, I'm done.
What's going on with you, man?
I am doing well, Bastion. I've been on cloud nine ever since Monday, ever since the weekend. I've been really happy, man. I've been enjoying life. My hair is beautiful. My skin is clear. I'm hydrated. You know, I got a shape up. My beard is all trimmed up and groomed up, and it's nice. You know, that's about it. That's all I'm doing. You know, I'm making sales out here on my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm making these hustles, so I'm happy about that. Getting this commission too, along with the salary. You know, Bastion, I'm out here. I'm getting that sales experience. Although I don't really want the experience, but I just want to say, hey, I have that experience of the hustle. You know, because I feel like if you're from New York, you just have that innate hustle in you. Okay, I remember what it was like hustling these chocolates growing up in high school, okay? I knew the keys. I sold the keys like Pusha, but my key was just chocolate. It was cocoa.
Okay, Riley, I feel you.
That's right. It's exactly that
it's Boondocks
episode. It's exactly the same game. You have to know your clientele. You have to know your customer. You have to know where to sell that product to. You know what I'm saying? It's a hustle out here, man. It's hard out here in these streets, B.
Nah, I feel you.
How have you been, man? How's LA treating you, man? I know I always ask you this every week, but I want you to get, more engulfed in the LA lifestyle, man. You're staying at home just in your cave all day, man. Go out, make some friends or something, man. I don't know, do some LA stuff.
So the thing is, it's not New York. There's no outside that's walking distance. You gotta take the bus, you gotta call the Uber, you gotta get to the spot in order to enjoy it. Unlike New York, where it's different. I could tell you there were summers in high school where I would be outside every single day, hop on the bus, meet up with my friends somewhere, and we chill. But it's not the same energy out here. I'm telling you, like, whenever you come to LA, you're gonna realize that there are you know how you see people and you could tell that they're fake, right?
Yes.
Well, over here, it's like a facade. It's like, I feel if you go out on a Sunday or a Saturday to a nice restaurant, that's where people dress their best.
Yes.
For like, no way you're wearing that Monday through Friday. But there are people that wear that fresh fit every single day. So, like, is that the person they are? Because in New York, all you need is a nice T-shirt from Zara, right? You know, some nice denim nudies. And some Yeezys, and there you go. That's your fit. But over here, it's a bit different, man. So, like, to indulge more in the culture, has to do with my mental state in terms of, am I where I want to be career wise? Am I where am I there, like where I want to be in terms of the talents I'm trying to create? So, I'm in that building mode. So once I'm settled in, then I'll be able to venture out. So I feel you. I should enjoy these lights. The sun over here is amazing. You go light hoodie weather, light jacket. I might start buying some more overshirts. Now I understand why people wear the plaid overshirts. It makes sense because it's like sometimes it's cool and at night it just switches real quick. So you just never know. Like the overshirts will last all day. You be good.
Man, it's been bipolar here weather-wise. One moment on Thursday it's 80 degrees bashing, and then yesterday it's freaking freezing. It's back to winter temperatures, and then tomorrow it's semi decent, but we're starting to get like the real weather Friday when it's gonna hit 70. But I always let people know this because sometimes it snows during April. It actually snowed upstate yesterday. It was that cold. I always let them know you really start to get that consistent warm weather in New York around May time. That's the month. February's still volatile season. One day it's 60, the other day it's 80, the next day it'll drop straight back down to 40. And that's what we've been experiencing. We've been experiencing this past week. I'm not going to lie to you. But I will say this, everyone is outside. Every weekend people are outside. Especially now that, of course, we had Good Friday, and now that kids are out of school for the week, it's spring break for New Yorkers. Everyone's outside. The car show is back. The International Auto Show is back for the first time since 2019. No, I did not go, Bastion. I know you would have loved it because they're showcasing a lot of hybrids, a lot of electric cars, and I said, no, I'm not doing that. That's disrespectful to me as a car lover. I hate it.
So the concept of electric cars, since hey, as a car lover, you probably want that oil efficiency. Guess what? Electric cars still use oil when those companies burn oil to create electricity. So there you go. It's the same thing. It runs like a car.
I want engines, damn it. I don't want frunks, okay? I'm sick of frunks. Get rid of them.
No, frunks are the best.
No.
Imagine you with your new laptop, right? You got a new 14-inch laptop. You just throw it in the front of the car while you're driving your whip. Pop it open, take it out, and continue. You don't got to, go all the way to the back of the car, and it's safety, right? Of course, if you get in a front end collision, you lose the laptop too. But hey, you look so cool opening that frunk.
Is gas $6 over there in LA?
7, 8,
Whoa.
depending on where you're at.
God damn.
So yeah, I don't drive out here.
Thankfully.
So, I do miss driving, but I don't want to drive in these streets. It's a little bit wide compared to New York City. It feels like, nah.
There's too much room.
Yeah, like checking a Jackie Robinson's one thing.
Yes.
Because it's just 2 streets and it's loop, right? But over here, it's like, imagine like 6, 7 streets, 8 streets. It's all in one.
You mean lanes?
Intense. Lanes.
Ooh.
It's all in one. It's been intense for me.
Yeah.
But
a lot more
that's the way
going
it
on.
is.
Yeah.
Electric cars are the future, man. And if you're not driving it, your next of kin will. So it don't matter.
No worries. I've always said I'm gonna give it like 50 years for there to be a full transition where everyone has an electric car, because it's still kind of hard for everyone to transition now, just because there's 2000 models still running around here, 90s models still running around here. So I think it's going to take a while. It's going to take more time for the full transition to happen.
I don't think people can transition the cars because due to pricing, right? Like what you said is true. There are cars from the 90s that are still in decent condition, that are still moving around. You can buy their car parts on Amazon and, makeshift and put it together in your own backyard. But it costs a lot of money to do the switch. Unless you're like those daily people that switch up to the new cars, and you probably know some. They get a new lease every other year.
Every other year, yeah, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, then the ones that are up to date. But there are people that cannot afford to get a new lease every year. They don't have any good credit or just not interested. So if they could keep that car from the 90s and they're not paying that payment, because who wants to have a payment? Not me. You know, if I
Yeah,
have a car with no payment, just pay insurance, and I'm good. Especially New Yorkers, we got high insurance.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, this is Black Seinfeld, a show about nothing.
Yes.
We have episodes every single week. Please check out our older episodes on our podcast. You know, just type in Black Space Seinfeld anywhere, Spotify, you know, podcast Apple, Google Podcast, anywhere. You just check it out. Just type in Black Seinfeld, and we're on social media, Black Seinfeld NY, Twitter and Instagram. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at blackseinfeldny@gmail.com.
There you go, bud. So
Yeah,
this week,
I felt like we put it in a little too late. You're supposed to throw it in a little bit early.
yeah, but sometimes I just like talking to you. Just want to see how you're doing.
You gotta do it afterwards, bro. That's how it is.
So, what we had Easter Sunday, and
Yeah.
you told me you don't like the classic Caribbean treat that is bun and cheese. What's wrong with you?
It's nothing.
What do you mean it's nothing? It is such a classic. It's sweet mixed with the nice savory cheese. It's better than Peeps.
Abundant cheese. Yeah, no, I'm not with it. But you know, it's cool. You know, every Caribbean restaurant on Hillside Hat sells it. So
That's right. Do they put the cross glaze on it too, or no?
no.
Yeah, there's
And
some.
it's like the same concept for like hot crust buns. So like hot crust buns with the currants.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chef West. He taught me how to make it.
Oh, he
you gotta
did?
s- Yeah, it's either you could do currants or you soak your raisins in alcohol.
That's right.
Yeah,
Shandy,
yeah.
brandy.
Yeah,
brandy. There you go.
brandy.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Sherry.
It got to be over 24 hours. I think when I did it for 8 hours.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't really soak it in
It's
yet.
supposed to be more
but-
than that. But like a lot of like grandmas and stuff, they'll soak it for like a year just to really get them juices seeped in.
It was seeped in the week, okay?
I know.
I know.
Oh, you weakling.
But they got to do it for Easter, so I get it.
mhm.
Or they need that banging fruit cake.
That's
Yeah,
right. They save it for Christmas too.
Yeah, you're right. It makes sense. It's like you're not going to use it anyways, and alcohol doesn't really expire like that.
It
so.
does not.
But yeah, so yeah, it was Easter Sunday. Easter I will say, is a very fun holiday for kids if you know where to take them to the Easter egg hunt.
Word.
That's always a little fun thing.
Those were
and then
fun. Easter baskets. Those
Easter
were great.
baskets and stuff.
A lot of Easter candies, or just egg-shaped candies, really.
Yeah. And then on Monday, it was tax day.
Yeah, I honestly forgot because I've been accustomed to our taxes being due in July or just later now due to the lockdown that happened in 2020. I was just used to it just being at a later date, but I know you can ask for an extension. I've heard about the extension thing that they're doing.
You could get the extension all the way to October.
Right, which is nuts. October, dog?
No, well, you got to get your life. You know, some people, it's kind of designed so they don't find a way to fine you because you don't want to get fined. You want to still get leeway. Because if you say, "Hey, we're extending it for a month," you're still going to forget it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
So
that's a good
October
point.
is like, well, might as well get ready for April, and we're gonna find you still. But doing taxes is very annoying. Gio, how do you do your taxes?
Oh, well, I have two jobs. One requires me to do a 1099 and the other one is just the W-2. The W-2 is easy, but the 1099 is a pain in the ass because I am a freelancer, so that means I have to crunch a lot of numbers, I have to plug in a lot of receipts, but all in all, it's a good thing for me. It's because, a lot of stuff can be tax write-offs for a lot of people who filed 1099. So food, transportation, Metro cards, equipment, being that laptop that I'm purchasing, that's going to be a nice write-off. Metro cards, Ubers, all that stuff is important for you to save your receipts. And thankfully now, with the help of the internet, a lot of those receipts can go straight to your phone. So whenever it's January or February and I want to do my taxes, I start from the beginning of last year, write out all my taxes. It's pretty easy. I've gotten used to it
So
now.
you do it yourself, or you use like other website mechanics?
Well, I use TurboTax, but that's about it. and I have to pay for the 1099 feature for the freelance feature,
Hmm.
and that's about it. But for me, it's gotten a lot easier now because I know what I'm doing.
Why do you have to pay for it? They
Because they gotta make money somehow. Because if I just do the W two stuff is just free. But with 1099s, they charge a fee for it. Unfortunately.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. Because I actually wanted to quickly talk about TurboTax.
Sure. Why? What's going on
Uh,
with TurboTax? Oh.
so TurboTax is the reason doing taxes is still difficult. Like it's always been difficult, but if you go to other countries around the world, now their governments just send people a piece of paper, which pretty much shows them, it's like, hey, this is what you made this year. If we're wrong, or if you would like to add anything or make any corrections, please, fix it. Most of the time you just send it back saying like, hey, you're 100% right, because when you get that W-2 form, Geo, that's literally government knows exactly like what you made this year.
Right.
So why are we using things like TurboTax and other companies and talking to law firms in order to do taxes? Well, I actually found out, and this is something that we usually do talk about taxes, but I kind of wanted this episode to be a little bit different, where I actually did a little bit of research and found out back in like the early 2000s, and yeah, that's the Bush era, right? When we weren't so political as a kid. The administration was looking for a way to simplify the process for everyone based on how other nations were doing it. So just during the research process. But Intuit, which is the owner of TurboTax and QuickBooks, just in case you own a business, you most likely will use QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
Intuit lobbied its way to make a deal with the IRS, where they will keep the tax process the same, but companies like TurboTax would need to offer a free way for applying. So, according to the agreement between the IRS and the companies, anyone who makes less than $66,000 can be prepared and filed for free. I think right now it's roughly 73K. So, if you make less than 73K, you could file your taxes for free. Now, uh, what's interesting is there's a ProPublica article about TurboTax and its dark patterns on the website. So, Dark Patterns is a user interface that has been carefully crafted to trick users into doing things such as buying overpriced insurance with their purchases or signing up for reoccurring bills.
Mm.
It's just like trying to delete your Facebook account. It's very difficult to get there. And one thing that's interesting about the TurboTax website is one, they constantly advertise that it's free filing, right?
Right. They do.
But every time you apply, and I used TurboTax, I think twice in my life, right? When I started making papers, like, all right, I gotta do taxes. This is hell. Adulting is hard. So when you're adding all the features, you're thinking in your head that I'm gonna pay 0.99, 0.99, free 99, basically.
No, that's not how it
once
works.
once I get through it.
Unfortunately,
But
not.
but unfortunately, they only show you options like, hey, you could pay free, or you could pay the deluxe, or
Right.
we pay the super deluxe, where we could find like every nook and cranny, so we could get you that top dollar return, because that's how it is.
Hmm.
Your broke ass.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and also you get to speak with like a representative, that someone you could talk to, and someone that can break down your taxes for you. Yeah, I know the
yeah.
packages. I'm familiar with those.
So that's how most companies do it. They always give you three choices: free, deluxe, and super deluxe, and stuff like that. But if let's say, Gio, you only did W-2, you weren't doing the 1099, and you're just pressing just to do it for free. You could click free all you want. You will never get the option to do it.
Oh yeah, of course not.
So the funny thing is the website is designed for you to be pushed into buying it somewhere through the option, where they can even discount it for you at the last second, and you're just going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So one thing I never knew, because I kind of just dipped TurboTax later and started working with a lawyer and just like let them do everything, is um, you cannot get free taxes on TurboTax website. You will have to pretty much use another website they have called, like, I think called Tax Freedom. And when you go on Tax Freedom, they give you two links. One link is strictly to TurboTax for you to do taxes, right? And guess where the other link takes you?
Where?
to the IRS website for you to
Oh.
do your taxes for free. So it's like that's where you do your taxes for free. They will advertise like crazy free taxes,
Hmm.
but they don't offer you free taxes. The IRS does. So when you want to do your taxes for free, they'll just point you to the IRS page. They're getting sued for this, bro.
Oh, good. Who's
So,
suing them?
all this time where we will constantly watch commercials, YouTube commercials, which I don't get, but I know Gio gets it.
I do get them.
Which is I don't live that life anymore. Haven't. Anyways, and even Google ads talking about doing your taxes for free. They don't do it for free, man. It's embarrassing. These are dark patterns that these websites are just abusing. So filing your taxes is just one messed up roundabout.
They're taking the Firefest route.
Every day. Every day. They say, hey, you're gonna have a good time. We're gonna work together and we're gonna get this done. And don't bring your wallet. We'll make sure you bring your credit card.
That's marketing 101 though, man. They sell you a dream. They sell the people a dream.
And it sucks, But other ways they could do it is that they could take money from your return too. So
Yeah.
it's like if you don't have the cash on you now, say, hey, we'll take a little nibble.
Yes, they do that. They definitely do that.
We'll take 2 bites of this cookie.
Mm-hmm. So like, oh, we could just hey, if you wanna, you can pay, but if you don't have the cash, we'll deduct it from your return or whatever. They do that. They definitely do that.
Yeah. So people doing taxes, I think we should all work together to destroy companies or at least lessen the power of companies like TurboTax, so the government could just email me.
But
Say,
Sebastian,
hey,
that
hey,
requires
Gio.
work.
Hey Gio, no, everything's automatic. They already know. They just gotta press play, and that's it. They got all this money. Government got money.
Yeah,
They
you're
don't want to
right.
spend it on you, but
Exactly. They don't want to spend it on us, but they have the monies. How
isn't
much?
this like a?
How much they gave to Ukraine? I don't want to get into that, but didn't they give some money to Ukraine?
I haven't been following the numbers, but I haven't truthfully been following every single detail for the Ukraine stuff because I know we're not going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, we don't do that here on Black Seinfeld.
We all are on WBAI, and please listen to every other WBAI show, and I'm pretty sure they're they're very focused and getting proper information
Yes.
for you to understand the situation. But we're not going to do that. The show's for 2 hours. You're just going to rock with us and chill.
On midnight, man. Why y'all want to hear about Ukraine at midnight, man? Y'all want to do that? Smoke some weed or something and just listen to us.
Yeah, you want to hear like nonsensical news, like
Word.
Jack Dorsey's Twitter NFT being worthless.
Oh man, Bastion. We knew that was happening though. We knew that. So someone bought Jack Dorsey, who is the creator, founder of Twitter's first ever tweet that he posted onto his site. Someone bought that as an NFT for millions of dollars, basically.
$2.9 million.
$2.9 million, thinking it would be worth something because he owns that Jack Dorsey tweet. And however, what we've been telling you for a while now, as soon as you buy a lot of these NFTs, it goes down in value immediately. It cuts to half by at least the very 30 minutes you buy into it. Because it's really NFTs are supposed to be one thing, but now it's just glorified artwork. That's all it's become. Glorified artwork. That's it.
So the person that bought the NFT, Sina STV, I was actually reading a Forbes article where they spoke to him, and he tells Forbes that he paid such a hefty sum due to NFT's uniqueness and association with such a valuable company as Twitter. That's why he bought it. And this is the conversation that we've had many times before, and I could still argue with people to this day saying, one, it's a scam, and just because you're not involved into it doesn't mean the person that purchased such a high value at the time commodity trying to sell it for maybe like let's say 5% more than he bought it. If there's no buyers for it, I guess it's not worth anything, right?
It isn't worth anything.
So it is a scam because I could sell you something high value, get my friends involved into it until we find a sucker like you that will pay extra money for it, and we all ate and you
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
So I do find it kind of sad, and I actually did a little research to see like what the current offer is right now. If you could actually check out the offer on OpenSea,
Yes.
and it's actually roughly 35K right now.
Jeez, what?
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's gonna go down even more.
Yeah, so it's roughly 31K. My fault. No, so it's like it's offer. It's like like I'm offering 31,000 to buy this, and it just stays.
Bull bashing,
So
as long as NFTs are still a thing, you're still going to see influencers and people who are artists that are going to team up with these shady ass companies and say, "Hey, I have an NFT," when they really don't have the NFT. They're just the spokesperson. They're just the figurehead to whatever shady business practices are going on behind the scenes. And as soon as people buy in, they will pull out, they'll make their money, and everyone is stuck screwed. And that is what we call in the financial business a rug pull, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get caught in that, okay? I don't care how much you like Hasbulla. I like him too. Don't buy his freaking NFT. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yo, Hasbula.
I love Hasbulla. Don't get his NFT though. All right, I saw the dudes from Barstool interview him. Great interview. I loved it. Don't buy his NFT, dog. Don't do it.
Hey, they gotta eat too. Like I always say in every episode we talk about NFT, I'm for the technology as like just something to, as like in a way to understand like or keeping track when you're offering somebody like something like a certificate. It's like, yeah, it's real, and here's proof of it. Here's proof of ownership. That's the most I like about NFT. Other than that.
FOMO is a real thing though, Bastion. And I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of people, as you were saying, are in it because they hear it's the hot new thing and people are making all this money from it. And hey, you can make this money too. Join the Discord. Join the NFT Discord and I'll send you
join
some
the
links.
come through. Bring your check. Don't tell your wife.
Hmm.
Don't tell your significant other. You got this. No, we got this.
Yeah,
Lambos for everybody.
hella fraud. Speaking of hella fraud, Bastion, recently I just saw this new Netflix documentary again. It feels like I've been saying that a lot, and it has to deal with Bitcoin, but it's from this Canadian cat who created its own like third-party Bitcoin service up in Canada, right? And what happened was he died at 30, unfortunately, in India, and people had these wild assumptions on like why he died and how he died, and people thought he faked his own death and stole all the money because he was the only person who was running that website. So he had everyone's Bitcoin, basically he had everyone's money, and he died abruptly. So it turns out, there was all this speculation. Maybe he faked his death and he got plastic surgery and he's just running around with people's money, or maybe his wife killed him just for the money because she was part of the will. But no, it turned out that he was just a fraudster. Like he just frauded everyone, and he honestly did die at 30. Unfortunately,
Oh,
that's the story.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
So he designed it that way where it's hard to get it.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, when Bitcoin was like booming in like the early 2017, remember how it was just going high and high and high. It was easy for when people wanted to sell their Bitcoin. It was easy for him to give them the money. But remember when it took that nosedive?
Hmm.
Then people started pulling out quick, and so he didn't have all that. He didn't have the money to give everyone. He didn't have the money to just give everyone their money back. What he would do is he would take someone else's money and then pay that person back their shares that they wanted to sell. So he honestly didn't have the money to give the people back that wanted to sell them.
Oh, the good old Ponzi.
It was a Ponzi scheme. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a
The good old
Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi.
Yep. Yep. And that was the gist of the documentary. It was really good. It was a good little hour and 30 minutes that I enjoyed. Like I'm telling you, like I said before, fraud is the new thing now. It's not about drug dealing anymore, Bash. It's all about
not
fraud.
about new. dude, we're being frauded every single day
Of
that we don't
course.
have health insurance, all right?
No, that's true, but people like to hear fraud stories about like a lot of crypto, and we like hearing fraud stories about someone tricking people into just giving them all this money, whether it's just rich people or a heavy, large, mass amount of people, because I think America is glorifying it like how they glorify like gangster-ish, like the mob, drug dealing,
Oh, you
coke
means in
dealing.
terms of entertainment.
And yeah, in forms of entertainment,
Okay.
you think about Wolf of Wall Street being one of them. You got to also think about the earliest one that I remember as a child, also with Leonardo DiCaprio. One of my favorite Leo DiCaprio films, Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale, Forging Checks. One of my favorite films of all time.
I'm more interested if I'm hoping that maybe there's like a TV show, or maybe there's. I think there was supposed to be a TV show about like early days in like late 1800s and early 1900s magic, and
Oh
how
yeah,
most of those people defrauded rich people.
yeah. I know.
So the OG frauds.
I know that the OG frauds, if you want to go back even further than that, was the times of Harry Houdini, first ever real magician,
Hmm.
and he was a big denouncer of like the spiritual world and fortune tellers, and he would make it his mission to like call out those fraudsters because he didn't believe in any of it. So he would go to these fortune tellers, he would go to these psychics, and try and see if they were really psychic, because he wanted to get in contact with his mother, and there was this like specific code for them for him, and they never got it right, so it further proved that yeah, a lot of this stuff is just mumbo jumbo.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
But yeah. Oh, okay. I kind of found the person. I think they made a TV show called Jack Parsons. He's like a rocket engineer who was interested in all those magic stuff.
that sounds familiar. Was that on Showtime or something?
Oh yeah, I think he was good friends with L. Ron Hubbard.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, his wife left him for L. Ron Hubbard, and he just got real weird and stuff. But he was like a genius too.
Huh,
Yeah,
really?
there's supposed to be a whole TV show about him, but I'm pretty sure they didn't get it season one.
Oh,
Jack
okay.
Parsons.
Okay, because it sounded like a show that I already heard before, but
Yeah, it's
no.
called Strange Angel,
Oh, damn, that sounds tight. He
I
was friends
think.
with L. Ron Hubbard too. How was he a genius? Did he invent different things, or
Yeah, he helped rocket,
oh,
push rockets forward. But I think people try to erase him from history because he
rocket
was kind
engineer?
of weird.
Oh, damn, he died at 37. What did he do?
Yeah, you know, yeah, and also he knew Aleister Crowley.
Oh, he was into okay, yeah, that
He was into magic.
that nigga weird. Aleister Crowley. Oh,
Yeah,
he was a Satanist.
uh, he was a bunch of stuff.
Fair enough. Scientologist saying the same thing.
I don't think he was a Scientologist, but
That was a joke, Bastion. I'm kidding. Please,
okay.
Scientologists, if you listen to Black Seinfeld, which I kind of hope you do, we're just joking. Take a joke, all right? Don't send Tom Cruise after us, please. Thank you. Is
Young,
Tom Cruise still in Scientology, or did he leave?
no idea.
Damn.
I don't really pay attention to. I know Scientology also has a TV show with the actress from Kings of Queens.
King of Queens, yeah, Leah Remini. She left though. She like
No,
exposes.
no, she has a TV show
Yeah,
exposing. It's like 6 seasons deep.
yeah, man, on A&E. I was watching that heavily for a while during lockdown. It was a good show. It was a good show. I remember. I think we talked about this on the show before, where there was this um, unholy union between the Church of Scientology and the Nation of Islam,
Hmm.
where they were starting to learn some teachings of Dianetics. So
The
they
good old Dianetics.
yeah, man, that was a crazy ass episode. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a bit disappointed in the Nation of Islam. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Leah Remini's show,
Yes.
Scientology and the Aftermath, had like 3 seasons and 37 episodes.
And her co-host was like one of the top-ranking dudes in Scientology. He was hanging out with like David Miscavige. That was like his right-hand man before he left. He was this British cat.
Mike Rinder.
Yes, Mike Rinder. Yeah, man. He got locked up in the little Scientology house where, he had to clean the floor with his tongue and all that. Basically, they were getting tortured by David Miscavige, allegedly.
Oh, that's how you brainwash people.
Hey, man.
No water.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the first song of the week.
Sure, man. We can get into the first song of the week. Bastion, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to become a believer in Bia. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. At first, I had my reservations. I thought A Whole Lot of Money was cool. It was a cool record, but this new record she just dropped featuring J. Cole called London. I'm not gonna lie, they did their thing on that. Of course, J. Cole he goes in with it. I don't know what it is about J. Cole and features, but that's his milk and honey. But Bia, she does her thing too. I want to know if someone writes her stuff or does she do it herself. Hopefully, I hope she does it herself. But this is a great record. Here it is, Bia featuring J. Cole, London. Bia, J. Cole, London. Great track. The only thing I don't like about it is their accents. They tried, but nah, dog. That one hit.
It's a great track. I don't know.
Loved it.
I thought it was fine.
I loved it. The forceful British accents though, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I mean, they tried though. They tried with the accents. I will say this though. I want to shout out the British TV show Top Boy, because without Top Boy, I wouldn't understand a lot of the British slang and language, especially the black language, like the black British slang, which is honestly it's pretty similar to a lot of Caribbean slang too, if you think about it.
Yeah, I would like to say it's like either Caribbean or African, because that's where most of them are from.
Yeah.
It's either like Nigerian and you live in the UK, or you live in like California or in New York. So
Word.
everybody kind of cross over somewhere. Hence, the language comes back here. It's funny. That's the way I look at it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Sure.
we could draw to the same conclusion of the same word. Like,
Yeah. And you know exactly what it means too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess thanks England, I guess. So Bastion, your former employer, your former boss wants to buy Twitter, I hear.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot that was on the docket.
That was on the docket. I didn't want to run away from that. We were talking about cars. He likes to talk about the future. He likes to stir up the pot a little bit. He wants to buy
Yeah.
Twitter. He wants Jack Dorsey to bow out the game gracefully.
So Elon Musk, well, first of all, Jack Dorsey sold his shares. I don't think he's not even part of Twitter anymore, is he?
Oh, he's not? Oh, my
I
bad.
don't think so.
So
I know.
whomever owns Twitter.
It's just a bunch of shareholders, right?
Ah.
And now
Corporate.
Elon Musk, who is the person we're talking about,
Yes.
wants to buy Twitter for $43 billion.
100% of it.
He definitely doesn't have the liquid for it. So I always find it strange how these companies, and I like to give it to Succession. Succession's a great TV show on HBO. Season 3 was aired last year. Can't wait for season 4. That show made me understand how these companies purchase other companies. They just do a deal with the bank and then finance it with the bank, and that's how they pay for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like no one has $200 billion on deck, $3 billion, $4 billion on deck, unless maybe Disney does. But they still would finance it.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to give straight up a bill. No, you don't use your money to make money. That's ridiculous. That's not how it works, Gio. It's not. Yeah, I use the bank's money to make money. That's why that person on YouTube had like $100 million house somewhere in California. Well, of course, the value kept getting lower and lower each month.
Who, Ty Lopez?
No, not him. Not Ty Lopez. Oh, God. Please.
You like how I did that, right?
That was disgusting.
I know.
Speaking of 2017 height of cryptocurrency,
Yeah,
that was
frickin'
a very
Ty
popular
Lopez.
name.
Yeah.
You do one Google research on cryptocurrency, you get all his YouTube algorithms. But
Knowledge.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But yeah, buying Twitter is in a sense the worst purchase you could ever do
Yeah.
because you could do two things. You could do there's two ways you could go by fixing Twitter, and this is my perspective. Feel free
Please.
to jump in.
Okay.
One way, you continue the path Jack Dorsey does, and ignore any sort of hatred, ignore Nazis and ignore white supremacists, ignore all those things happening on the website. So if people are sending death threats, you don't acknowledge it, right? You leave them on the website because it creates engagement, it creates conversation,
Creates
doesn't lead
controversy.
anywhere,
Yeah. Creates
creates
controversy.
controversy, doesn't
Controversy
lead into
creates
anywhere,
cash.
creates a debate, which doesn't lead anywhere, creates engagement at end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can leave those things there, which Jack Dorsey does, or you could take the positive route and clean up the website. But in order to clean up the website, you actually have to hire people of color because you need multiple perspectives in the room.
Mm.
So it's one of those things where you would have to kind of figure out if you want Twitter to continue the way it is, which is bad. Twitter is
It's
really,
volatile.
it's not good,
It's pretty volatile. It can be.
Or you could clean up the space and it would never be ridiculous. No bots, there's Russian bots on the website. He's definitely allowing them to, go around. You just need to do things like Facebook where you have to show proof of person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like Facebook because it makes sense. But you can't have like a bunch of bots on it. It's pretty difficult.
True.
They'll figure you out soon. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that in order for if this ever does come to fruition, I think what Elon Musk needs to do is just hire Black Twitter. Hire the people that have made Twitter what it is, and that is Black Twitter. All the memes that you've seen, Black Twitter, okay? All these YBN bots, Black Twitter, okay? Everything that you've seen, a lot of things that you've seen here, a lot of the jokes, everything from Black Twitter.
There's a book I'm reading right now called Ruined by Design by Mike Montero. And in this book, he talks about like designing as an ethical stance.
Mm-hmm.
And he used Jack Dorsey's Twitter a lot as an example. So I'm understanding a little bit from his perspective.
Well, please.
Which is slightly to the left perspective, I like to say.
And what have you learned?
No, it's like what I was kind of explaining, allowing bad things to happen on the website. But he also was working near the original owner of Twitter's. And he's seen the people, like there's a bunch of white people, white dudes, with good ambition and good ideas to create Twitter. The problem is it's just a bunch of white people. So when you create any type of craft or any type of artwork or any type of social media, and there's no other person with a different perspective, you won't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So in this book, he gives an example. It's like if there was a black person in the office while creating things in Twitter, it's like they would say, okay, we could do this, but how are we going to deal with racism and hate comments? Now we got to figure it out. And in the book, this one thing is pretty interesting before we switch is in Germany, right? Twitter in Germany works a lot different than Twitter in the United States because in Germany, they force Twitter to clear out any type of Nazi interaction.
Yeah, that's like illegal in Germany. That's a no-go in Germany. They don't rock with that.
Not at all. So they do, and they can. That means they have an algorithm that works, and they craft it in order to eliminate anybody that speaks any type of, white supremacist, Nazi stuff in Germany. But they don't want to do that here in the United States. Hence, the concept of the neo-Nazis and stuff like, we got new Nazis to fight. It's a Gerard Carmichael joke. But it's kind of strange. Just like I said, like, if people like Elon want to buy Twitter, it's like the worst thing they could do is allowing it to stay the same.
Yeah. I remember seeing this documentary, Bash, where they talk about where a lot of like the creators of these websites like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or what have you, where the AI itself is starting to learn racism, which is nuts. That's how crazy tech is, right? Just the very fact that, if you're catered, or your political status or your morals and belief are catered to one specific thing, right? That AI is going to pick up on it. And it's like, okay, well, here's more of that thing. Or whether you try and, say if they create a website where you can find a job or whatever, that AI will know, hey, if you're black, that's going to be a no-go for you. If you put in that demographic that you are black, you're going to get that automatic no-go.
I can
Which
actually
is
clarify that a
nuts.
little bit.
Sure, yeah, please.
It sucks, like what you said. It's like, no, not necessarily true. Well, it's kind of true, because like the way the AI will work would be examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving examples of resumes that you're pushing away, and say like, I'm not interested. And if it sees like a correlation
Mm-hmm.
with certain names,
Yeah.
then it's going to react the same way. So I don't know if there's like an actual situation where it's something like that. I think right now they use a lot of ATS stuff, which is, you know what? Never mind. I think you're right. So in for example, something that happened to you, and in terms of doing a video interview,
Yes.
if you don't use the right words,
Oh, dude, I said herded. I said herded or something like that. I was like, oh fuck, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I said herded.
yeah,
It's over.
yeah, if you don't speak in a certain form of dictation, and I think the best people that could probably speak perfect English are English as second language speakers,
Yes.
compared to first speakers, where we're from New York. We do have slang, like
We have our own dialect.
I'm gonna, or I'm going to,
Right.
like I will 100% say gonna.
Right. Or instead of saying today, we say today. Stuff
Today.
like that.
Never noticed.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I say oven,
Oven.
or oven,
Right.
oven.
Or of course
Like there's an A in it.
of course the classic coffee, where in LA I'm sure they sounded
Coffee.
like coffee or something like that. So it's like
It's
different inflections, different ways that we say things. It's just that's the thing, man. It's just how we were brought up.
And you're right. It is. I hate to admit it, but you're right. In those type of sense, it is AI that when they're practicing and creating the craft, they hire like literally the same type of white people in order to build the AI. Hence, that's what the AI is going to look for continuously, on and on and on. So yeah, it sucks. And if Elon buys Twitter, like people's like, oh, I'm going to leave the website. It's like, no, it's like, if you're not leaving the website right now, which you should, I can't, because I'm trapped in the engagement cycle. But
Right.
I'm not looking for hate. I don't look for
Right.
that.
We can't,
No.
because we have a show to do, and we have to inform you all on what's going on, because you don't want to, so we have to, so you don't have to. Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
What I try to do the most is, if there's something trending and I need to know about the topic, I'd rather read some articles about it, but I don't want it to see it in my trending. I just remove it. No matter what's trending, it's like, if I'm not interested, I just remove it, because I don't want it to come back up later, which sucks, because the formula doesn't work that well. It would just always
Yeah.
bring it back up, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Facebook is better at this. What's going on Twitter?
One more thing about words, though. Do you know how much my mind was blown when I found out brung isn't a word?
Brung?
Yeah.
Brought?
Yeah, it's
Brung?
brought. Instead of, you can't say brung. Brung isn't a word.
I brung you. I brought you. I never used brung before.
I've used brung. It's like, oh, I just brung a sandwich today for lunch. Yeah, brung isn't a word.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, I just
Or a
brought.
proper word.
I brought. Nah, that's very interesting that you'll make that mistake.
Yeah, because I'm like,
You've probably heard it before. It doesn't sound wrong.
Exactly. We've said it all. I've said it all the time when I was young. We've said it as kids, growing up in Brooklyn, growing up in Brownsville. Just brung. I just always thought brung is a word, like gonna or wanna. Like, I just figured that's a word, because we use it in the verbal lexicon all the time. But when writing, you can't really say gonna or wanna, and when you're in a professional setting. I still have slip ups every now and then.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting. Well, you know what else is interesting, Bastion? There was a group of Hillsong kids on a plane singing their love of Jesus in front of everyone, and there was a bit of a mixed reaction on the plane, and then a huge mixed reaction on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter,
Yeah, Twitter is well, no, okay. I don't even want to talk about Twitter. Let's talk about this.
yes,
S-
this instance of the
Gospel
Hillsong
singing
on the plane. They're not
on the
Hillsong,
plane.
but I'm just making a joke here.
Gospel singing on the plane. And
Yes.
I do understand, like, in certain situations where singing on a plane is one thing. Like, I remember a long time ago, I saw a video of Jay Electronica, saying something to the people, to the passengers in the plane. It's like, damn, I wonder if they know who that is.
Right.
Like, they're on a plane with a literal ghost.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, let's say the weekend's on the plane, like, would you want him to sing something to you guys?
Well, I have an actual story about that. I remember going to Trinidad one year, and one of the biggest Calypsonians in that realm, the Mighty Sparrow, he was on the train. I'm sorry, he was on the plane with us, and so we made a pit stop in Tobago before we head off to Trinidad. And so everyone's like, "Oh my God, Sparrow, can you sing a song?" And so he got up, and everyone was singing a song. But that was appropriate though, because that was his niche, that was his people, and we know who he is. We want to hear some tunes before we actually make it home to Trinidad. So he blessed us that day.
See, that makes sense. That's why it's like in certain situations, you're like, yeah, this is fine. But a situation is like, this is fine too. But don't act like it will be different if, someone was singing hymns, right, in another religion, that this would be acceptable.
Oh,
Like, you'll be
100%.
upset. You'll be on national news saying, like, we can't allow this to happen.
Fox would have your ass in 4K immediately.
You know, you,
Immediately.
you'll be done. You'll be
Word.
donezo.
You're gonna be the think piece of Tucker Carlson coming up at 8 o'clock. Is it 8 o'clock? I don't know, but whatever. You know what I mean.
I do think he's prime time.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw a lot of people have comments on it on the internet. And what are your comments?
My comments were it automatically went to a New Yorker. It felt like excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, party interruption, showtime. It felt like that. I'm like, damn, I can't even escape this on a plane. That was my original thought. The second thought was I'm not gonna lie, it felt a bit culty. It felt a bit forced. It's like, I don't. Out of all the things that can happen on this plane, this is one of the things I don't want on the plane. Sometimes, I just want everyone to keep to themselves. Shut the hell up. What movie's gonna be playing? Let me get my snacks. That's it. I don't want to hear your music, dog. Bro, you're not Bruno Mars. Like, I don't want to hear this right now. And clearly, looking at the video, there was a lot of people there that didn't want to hear it as well.
Yeah. You go on the plane, you're paying for a service, and you just want to be in and out.
Yeah,
You don't want any show time. Like, you go on a train, you're paying $275. Like,
right.
it's gonna happen.
Exactly. I'm playing triple
but
digits here.
you're not a tourist on the plane, right? You're a tourist on the streets, right? But you can't be a tourist on a plane.
Right.
That's not how it works.
It feels very self-centered. It honestly feels very self-centered and rude that they would feel the need because, quote unquote, God is moving them and persuading them to touch the people, to get some more souls to join their congregation on the plane, and I don't know, maybe frickin' was the pastor there to call up some people down the aisle to, I don't know, to put their hands up in worship. I don't know. But it just sounds
Yeah.
this ain't your church, dog.
Hey, in those situations, like, you could just either chill or join. Would you join, Gio? Do you know any hymns?
What can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. See, I know some things.
Damn, I like after you said the blood of Jesus, I was like, all right, I remember this.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school for you,
That's
but it
right.
was for like 2 years. Church every Wednesday.
Damn, why Wednesday?
It's just kind of it's like that's how it is when you go to Catholic school. It's like you go to
Mm,
church in the morning, like either
mm.
Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday. I went Wednesday mornings, then every other Sunday because I'm late. Like no way I'm leaving my house on a Sunday.
It's like
Good riddance.
I understand. I understand, man. But yeah, that's how I felt. It's just very self-centered and just very arrogant. What about you?
No, like I get it. I'm not too mad or upset about it. Like I said, in certain situations in time, you'll find it acceptable. Just because you don't like it, other people will find it acceptable. In that situation, it would just come and go because it's publicized and it's immortalized because you filmed it and you allowed everybody to know this what happened.
Right.
So everybody just deemed to have a comment on
Yeah,
it.
and everyone has an opinion, but this is how I'm gonna switch it and blend it in like a mother lover, Bastion. Notice how they didn't have any mask on in any of that in that plane, except for one
Mm,
person.
strange.
Except for one person. So I'm assuming, they this plane right here, they weren't practicing their the mask on thing, but hey, now they don't have to worry about that anymore, Bastion, because now the CDC and a nice judge from, I'm gonna
It wasn't the CDC.
Oh no, it was the judge. My bad. You're right. The U.S.
Yeah.
District Judge Catherine Mizell struck down the federal mask mandate. And for all of you out there who may not know where Judge Catherine Mizell is from, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to guess what state is she from. Do, 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 do,
Hmm.
do, do, do,
Missouri,
do, do, do,
North
do,
Dakota,
do, 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 do,
Michigan.
do, do. If you said Florida, you are correct.
Ah,
Which honestly doesn't surprise me at all. It was either Florida or Texas to me. But of course, Florida strikes again.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand. Sometimes like I understand politics, but at the same time, I don't understand politics. Where you could pass something and some like random judge elsewhere in any like type of U.S. district could just like turn it over or put it on pause.
Bastion, it's
I was,
unconstitutional. The CDC is they've overstayed their welcome, apparently. That's what she said. It's unconstitutional to have
yeah,
people.
apparently sure a 59-page ruling.
Yeah. A 59-page ruling of how unconstitutional the fact that, people have to wear uh, mass face coverings in public transportation, mass transportation, meaning trains, buses, planes, that's that stuff basically. And so, it once that was strucken down and once that no longer became a thing, it was up to the airlines, it's up to the transit people, it's up to these companies to it's up to their will. Do they want to strike down this mandate, Bastion? It's up to them now. And Bastion, I know you, man. I know you figured, hey, well, hopefully they'll do the right thing. Hopefully, they'll have some sense. These companies, but I knew once that mandate was struck down, it was over. Okay, and all the major airlines like Delta, American, Southwest, Alaskan Airlines, that moment that hearing was heard and that ruling got struck down, immediately they were like, yeah, y'all don't have to wear a mask anymore. It's optional. And I've seen I've seen some videos of people on the airplane or in the airport like being told this as this ruling came in. I saw people cheering. I saw some people feeling down about it. It was an interesting sight to see on these videos, Bastion. And I would ask you how you feel, but I already know how you feel. So please, Bastion, how do you feel, bud?
This is disturbing. It's disgusting, and I wonder how long it would take for them to bring that mandate back, or we're just going to deal with like it's kind of too late, and we should have dealt with it better, but now we're just going to learn how to live with it, and that's the direction that we're going as a first world country, right?
Yes. I'm not going to lie. I understand where you're coming from, but I also feel some sort of happiness for, not really for like what happened, but for the flight attendants, dog, honestly, because they've had to deal with a lot of crap. Meaning they've had to deal with all these people who are on the plane who didn't want to adhere to the mask mandates, and people are getting into fights over this and attacking flight attendants. It's sort of like what happened with the restaurants and the bars, people throwing drinks at bartenders because they're telling people, hey, we need to see your vaccination card, we need to see your ID, etc., etc., etc. So I feel happy for them that they don't have to deal with that headache anymore. And speaking on me personally, who works in a private office, and I would have to ask people all the time that were coming in, for their put their mask on, their ID, dude. It's such a freaking hassle, dude. It's honestly like it's like you're taking on a second job almost of having to deal with that. And I understand it's about safety, but like, bro, like I don't want to fight you on this. Like,
I could
why
actually argue
you can
that the
please.
flight attendants will be upset about this. Not all of them, but most of them, because
Mm-hmm.
many of them did die of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many of them did, and their job is pretty much traveling airborne, which is pretty difficult to do.
It is.
Uh, COVID is an airborne disease, of course. It's a virus. Of course, many of these planes do have new filters that will clear the air out much much quicker, and yeah, I understand that, but the comfort of you're wearing a mask
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wearing a mask is a lot better than I'm only wearing a mask and you're not. It's not, it's still like up for like, hey, if you want to wear a mask, continue wearing the mask, but at a certain point in time they're going to say like, oh, you have to stop wearing masks, it's not serviceable. It's like, well, what about me? What about my protection? Because this is still
Mm.
going to be a problem. A lot of people still die every single day, and we stop talking about it. We stop getting reports about it. You have to go to like maybe NPR or some privatized company for them to talk about daily deaths of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and airplanes, airline companies are now saying like, "Hey, it's okay,"
Mm-hmm.
because not just them, also the TSA no longer enforce it. So they're going to say, "Sir, can you please put your mask back on?" They don't have to say that. Now you just come through maskless, breath in the air and everything.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I can see that argument as well. Uh, but also I can see whether it's the employer's choice or the employee's choice to have their mask on while whatever customer they aren't that they're serving don't have to. I think a lot of it makes things a lot easier for them as well. Just speaking on personal experience as well, it just makes things a lot easier because they have an issue with you telling them, "Hey, sir, can you put your mask on?" And they get mad
Well,
at you.
that's just
And they,
human nature.
of course, it's human nature, but hearing that it's not even like an every every 2 3 hours. It's like every 30 minutes of just it's like a constant fight, getting gray hairs for what? And they want to spend their frustrations on you. I'm like, nigga, I'm not the mayor, I'm not the governor, I'm not Congress. Talk to Congress about this. You feel
I
me?
do, I do understand. Okay, so I like that you're arguing for that sense too, making
Mm-hmm.
it easier where you don't have to bring up the mask,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a trigger word for certain type of
For
people.
politics, yeah.
And
Oh,
like
oh, this is
for
all
us, it's
fake.
like, all right, let me put a mask on. All
Yeah,
right, my fault, my
exactly.
fault. Right?
To them, oh,
Because
COVID's
like
fake. Like,
because the other day I went for a run, right?
mm-hmm.
And I realized like I didn't have any eggs to make breakfast. So I'm gonna walk to the store. LA is a little bit different from New York, where I would run with a mask in New York because people are always walking and we have like actual sidewalks. But in LA, I could run a whole like 2 miles and not bump into a single person. because of the avenues and stuff, because of the routes. And I was like, damn, I have to go into the store without a mask. And I was super nervous about it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, damn. But I remember like they're not going to enforce it, even though outside the sign said please wear a mask. Because I remember going to the grocery store and seeing people without one. So it's like, you know what? Let me just pick up my eggs, pick up this bread, and I'll be out. I
Question:
always get the 12 grain.
Does it feel nerve-wracking because, like, I think the assumption that people would have if you don't have your mask on is like, oh,
Yes,
you think, yeah,
100%.
it's like, oh, this guy probably thinks COVID isn't real, and like,
Look at this black man walking around,
he,
no mask,
he must be a part of the nation.
part of the nation, breathing in another air.
Yeah, I've heard.
Hercules.
Yeah, I've heard that from friends too, that similar to you, just forget to just bring their mask, and so they're stuck on a train or something, or they're just stuck trying to go to a shop or something, and people
Stuck on a train with no mask.
yeah.
Oof,
And people are
nasty.
some people are just looking at them in disgust, like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, okay, so we know who you supported.
Exactly. It's like, oh, okay, Mr. Kyrie Irving, how you
Yeah.
doing?
Oh, look at him. He's from New York.
He drinks kombucha. He thinks he's going to protect the system. He
Yeah.
works out every day. He's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
He gets protein from broccoli. He's good. But yeah, it is kind of weird. How has New York responded?
well, see, that's a very good question, because whenever there's a new mandate or a mandate lift, I always want to know, okay, how does this affect New York? Because of course it's a major city, and we're not like most of America. So, no, you still have to wear mask in the trains, man. Eric Adams said it. It's like, nah, wear your freaking mask on the trains, yes. And I agree with that. It's because rush hour is now a thing again. It's packed. Put your mask on. Everyone is in such close proximity with each other. Yeah, wear your mask, dog. That's how it
Interesting.
is. Bus, trains still have to wear your mask. It's not optional. And I don't think it
No,
will
it's
be optional for that for a while.
no, I don't think so either. You know what's interesting?
What's that?
I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and I came to the conclusion that first of all, like the bus fare over here is $1, right?
Really?
It's $1,
Damn.
and I was and
Cool.
I completely didn't think about it. It's because it's never packed. It's not really being used all the time, so it won't be
Really?
expensive. If it's
Huh.
being used at a high volume, then of course 275 is the way to go,
That just blew my
right?
mind. Yeah.
So I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's a dollar here for the buses. I haven't taken the train here yet, but yeah, the buses are $1.
Wow. But yeah, man, that's one of the reasons why, and thank
And
you for
everybody's still
having
wearing a mask here.
and everyone see, but thank you for giving that perspective, because you have more space now. So I understand the people that don't really just have masks like that, because it's gonna take a while for you to like have some human interaction. Me, there's interaction right now. Okay, I see people outside right now. Still,
You're
everyone.
right. You're right. You're right. There is a lot more space, even though it's a waste of space.
Mm.
Don't want to just LA like that or
Yeah, bro,
California
you
like
live in
that.
there, dog. What are you doing? What are you
Now
doing?
it's a waste of space. These are big roads. Why do I like you can't jaywalk out here?
What do you mean you can't jaywalk?
You cannot jaywalk. It is dangerous. You will get hurt. You cannot jaywalk. You could
Oh,
jaywalk all over New York City.
because
That's
the
how
roads are too big over
the
there, I'm
roads are
assuming.
too big. Everybody drives crazy.
Ah.
They drive 45 in front of houses, bro.
Wait, what?
So, if you're driving say you're driving on the hillside, like the fastest you're going is 30, you can still make it across the street.
Right.
But, you know, driving 50, 60, 45, like you can't. You're not Superman. You can't cross that.
Damn.
So, yeah,
Geography
we're
is
still
crazy.
we're still going to be in the same situation. CDC is just going to be like, you know what? Like the judge is wrong. You know,
Yeah.
shoulder same situation. CDC,
Joe Biden said, "Hey, it should be the people's right." Whatever. I'm like, all right, Joe.
the people's right. You know, Joe Biden.
Hey, man,
People's
I
right.
I honestly Mark my words, man. 2024, that man is coming back with a vengeance. I swear to you. 2024, we're gonna have Donald Trump back. I swear it. I think it's gonna happen, bro. This is not looking good for Joe right now, dog. He got 2 more years to clean this up.
Joe just gotta like pull in like the big guns, like last
Yeah.
second, just do something crazy. It's like,
Hey,
yeah, healthcare for everybody, boom. Or
loan
it's like
forgiveness for all
loan
students.
forgiveness, boom. You know, from the let's say loan forgiveness from anybody from like who went to college from like 85 to like 2005. If he does that, that will be that will be crazy. You know, it's like, yeah, we're gonna work on something else for later. It's like just half-ass certain like half-ass something, man. That's what I'm trying to say.
Put in some
Like, right?
executive orders, damn it.
It's like, oh, we took 1 billion out. It's like, yeah, great. Deficit's like a couple trillion, bro. It ain't nothing, man. But
It's not real anyways.
nah. Yeah, it's not real. Like you ain't broke.
We're not broke
Inflation,
as a country.
inflation,
What?
inflation is wild out here. But
Is it?
we good.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, man. I guess America's back to normal.
Yeah.
All right, so should I play the next song? All right, man, the next song of the week. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything, bro. Just listen and enjoy. And when we get back, you're going to hear me rant for like a good 15, 20 minutes. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. That's it. Los Angeles Steppers. Album release date, May 13th, 2022. Damn it. Welcome back to Black Seinfeld, show about nothing, here on 99.5 FM, WBAI, and the NY. Big things is happening. What did you just hear? Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, Nostalgia. My Name Is My Name. Underrated classic from the one Pusha T, who's dropping his new album this Friday, featuring the king, the GOAT himself, Kunta, K. Dot, K. Lamar. He's coming back, people. Kung Fu Kenny, new album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it, Bastion. It's been too long. It's been 5 years, man.
5 years since Damn, and maybe a little bit more ahead that the Black Panthers.
Yes, we had the Black Panther album, which he helped curate. He also lended a hand in some of the music. Of course, All Stars. He had that track with The Weeknd. He had that track with Future and James Blake. And yes. He definitely he lent a hand in that album, but we didn't get a proper solo Kendrick project in 5 years, Bastion. And I'd just like to just talk about my Monday morning that day, because I remember like it was yesterday. Passion. It was a good day so far. I was working. My manager wasn't there, so it was just me by my lonesome. And I was thinking, since it's Monday, a lot of the time it's one of the busiest days out of the week. However, this is the Monday after Easter. You know what I'm saying? So also there we have spring break going on in New York. So thankfully, I don't know why, but God likes blessing me with less work to do when my manager is not there. So I'm just sitting, chilling, getting some work done, but I got a little bit of free time. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to check my phone. And 12 seconds ago, that press that I just read, it just pops up on Kendrick Lamar's IG page, his verified IG page, I might add. And so as soon as I read what I read, all I kept saying was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And my clients were looking at me like, yo, G, are you okay? I'm just saying, oh my God, this is real. This is real. Oh my God. And they're like,
You
yo,
said that in the office?
I
You lame
legit
for that.
said that.
Wow.
Call me lame, call me whatever, bruh. Listen, you can call me whatever. One thing you're not going to take away was my genuine happiness that I felt when I saw what I saw, damn it. Okay.
You're a buster.
I could be all that. You call me a weirdo, a buster, a mark, all that. I don't care. Okay. I don't give a damn, because you know what that means here in New York? Not a goddamn thing. Anyways, so I'm telling my clients, I'm like, yo, Kendrick Lamar, he's coming back. He's coming back. And you're calling me weird, calling me a mark, because guess who's the first person I wanted to call, Bastion? I wanted to call you, damn it. I wanted to
You
call one
did,
of
though.
my good friends.
Who do you call first?
I literally called you first.
Okay, I called you back.
And
You know, I thought it was something serious.
it was serious. Kendrick just announced his album.
You know what? I'll probably do the same thing if Frank Ocean
Exactly, and that was gonna be my
announced
counter.
something.
Exactly, and that was gonna be my counter. Frank Ocean decided to, like, you know what, the jewelry thing, like, you know, it's making money, it's profitable. I think it's time to come out the cave and drop a new album. You would be like, yo, G, Frank Ocean, he's coming back out. He got a new. You would do the same thing, man. You would do the
I'm hoping
exact
for another
same thing.
double album.
Exactly. You would be doing the exact same thing, man. It's been 5 years and I've been starving out here, B. And you already know how last week, didn't I say this last week? Kendrick Lamar was trending every 3 days, and all those times he was trending, my ass fell for it all the time. But people are just talking about how we're just waiting for Kendrick to come back, or they're deciphering that verse that we just heard from Nostalgia that was 8 years ago, and they're going back because Dissect did a freaking whole breakdown on that verse and how freaking genius it is, which it is, by the way. Definitely go listen to Dissect. That's on Spotify original. Definitely check that out. Which you can also check out Black Seinfeld on Spotify as well.
Yeah, the guy from Dissect, he also dissected To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yes, and you know he dissected. Did he dissect Blonde?
Yeah, he did.
See, I got some. See, I got you, dog. See. But you know, I called you first, and then I hit up one of my friends, Julian, who is a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, and you know he was like, "Oh, this is real." I'm like, "I told you, Julian, he's back, damn it! All you whack motherfucking rappers, oh my, I'm so hyped right now."
Yo, he's gonna drop a new album. It's gonna be 29 minutes long.
Why can't this is what we have to stop doing as black men. Why can't we just be happy for each other, okay? Instead of, you know, clowning, making jokes, you know, why can't you just be happy that I'm happy that Kendrick is back, huh?
Dude, I'm a huge K-Dot fan too, all right? I was listening to Kendrick Lamar LP. I was listening to Overly Dedicated EP, Section 80. Those are like genuine, still strong projects. These projects are better than a lot of people's projects. So when people say his first album is Good Kid, Mad City, I said stop right there. Section 80 literally has classics on there.
Yes,
but you didn't look at it because there was no vinyl press for it. Okay.
Right. And honestly, during that time, this was probably the closest we ever could have gotten to an actual Kendrick J. Cole collab album.
In that era, yeah, of course.
That was the closest.
And I just want to quickly analyze.
Please. Oh, dude, this is what we're going to freaking do. We're going to analyze here, sir. Please, I'd like to know your thoughts. What do you think?
Analyze.
What is he going to do?
First album came out 2011, second album 2012, third album 2015, fourth 2017, fifth now it's going to be 2022.
Are we counting Untitled Unmastered or no?
No.
Okay, fine.
That's just like throwaways that like most rock artists do.
But that even then, that was incredible. Those were the throwaways, and it was incredible.
Well, the throwaways, like a couple of them is like the ones he's performed on like Jimmy Fallon and this other shows, which was pretty cool.
Did he perform him in the Grammys too? One of them.
I
one
so.
About Trayvon Martin.
I think so. I think so. But my theory on this album, it will be a little bit political, or it'll be more of a Jekyll and Hyde situation. This is off just the title, off the presser. That's very similar to when Michael Jordan came back from his baseball break.
Yes.
Right?
The one that Logic tried to do and he failed because no one gave a damn, but Kendrick did it and he blew up the internet in seconds.
Because Logic wasn't far away enough. He had this for like 6 years. So this is what I am hoping and also guessing due to his older work. One, bar for bar. He is going out to kill. That's it, right? He's going to kill every rapper, you know. Two, it's going to deal with politics again. Damn was an album, and this is me years after Damn came out because I was a different man when Damn was out. I was in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like now I'm a grown ass adult. Damn makes a lot more sense to me now because it's a full album with love songs, themes, and ideas. To Pimp a Butterfly is a political album that he can never do again, and he should never do again. But
Absolutely
don't
not.
expect to hear To Pimp a Butterfly from him ever again. That's why he created Damn, so he could
Mm.
do the stuff he wants to do, like a Command City in Section 80, ideas and themes. That's what Damn is about too. To Pimp a Butterfly is one long narrative theme, which is perfect. So he had a couple years to kind of focus. So that's what I'm looking into. I'm looking at him going crazy bar for bar. He's not really bar for bar rapper like a Pusha T per se,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm looking for dope lyrics, great beat choices, and insanely weird flows.
Mm.
Just like the song he did with his cousin,
Yes.
right? What was the
Let's
joke?
get this. Let's get top
It's
of the
like,
morning.
ooh,
Top of the morning.
top of the morning,
Top of the morning.
top of the
Top of the
morning,
morning.
top of the morning, right? It's like something weird.
Hmm.
It's. I am going to make my hot take. This is probably going to be his 808, right? This is going to be an
Mm.
album where no, my fault, not 808. This is going to be his
Yeezus?
Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus, yeah. Because 808 is like no one said anything. Like damn, they just kind of allowed it to flow,
Well,
and later on they will love it. But I think this will be his Jesus, where it will be so split down the middle. People will hate it and people will love it. That's my hot take prediction.
let's not forget. Initially, when 808 and Heartbreak came out, this was 2008, right? And there was a lot of people back then, not saying us because we were children and we loved it immediately, but there was a large sense of the hip hop community not liking 808 and Heartbreaks because what the f- is Kanye singing for? I mean, Heartless is cool, but what the hell is he singing for? This ain't real hip hop. What the hell, Kanye? After them 3 albums, that
So
was a thing.
no, that's what I mean. It fits. If it correlates pretty well with Damn, is when Damn came out, people were expecting his third album,
Mm-hmm.
which is the iconic album, just like Graduation would be. And it's like, hey, I was hoping for these pop hip hop ballads, stadium status, but like that's what people love Graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And instead I got this story of sadness. And Damn is pretty much similar. It's like I got this story of reflectiveness because he reflected so much on himself.
Right.
And it was a craft. It was a simple story. I do think theme wise, it wasn't as complex as Good Kid, Mad City or Section 8 or Temple Butterfly. But he wanted to
Right.
show people he could still be thematic if he wanted to.
And he can still give us like some number one radio hits too with Humble and Loyalty featuring Rihanna, Love featuring Zakari. He was still able. He was like, yo, I could still do radio hits, no problem.
That love song is a song I appreciate later on. I did not
Yeah.
appreciate when it came out in
I
the time, but
frickin'
later
hated
on,
it.
it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song.
Absolutely, definitely. And of course, like we try to dig so deep into that song. I mean, so deep into that album. We thought Kendrick was coming out with. Well, I was one of the few that thought Kendrick was coming out with like a second full album on Easter. Remember that?
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't mind a double album from him either,
Of course.
which
not.
could be it too.
Mm.
The two sides.
Okay. Mr. Morale and
meet-
then the Big Stepper.
It could be two albums as well. That could be a theory.
Mm. Okay. I have a
Mr.
theory.
Morale and Big Steeper. Very interesting.
Yeah, I have a theory about that title immediately because when I hear like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I'm thinking of names like or albums like D'Angelo and the Vanguard, Malibu with Anderson Paak and the Free Nationals, Harold Melville and the Blue Notes. I'm thinking like, is Kendrick Lamar Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? I don't know, like. Does he have? I know he always carries like a band with him when he does live performances, but like, are we gonna have like some sort of Roots type of thing where it's like where he's gonna have his own freaking band sort of thing, and it's gonna be basically like that. That's what I'm thinking. That's what.
Hey, if he's gonna do that, I need Danger Doom. I mean, Danger Doom. My fault. Danger
Danger
Mouse to be
Mouse,
on it. Yeah, 'cause Danger Mouse is crazy. Like
right,
he knows how to get this orchestra to work on a rapper's level.
right,
You know, I think ASAP Rocky's second album shows case of it. The Gorilla shows case of it.
yeah.
Danger Doom. I referenced that first with MF Doom. That shows it. I think he would have been perfect with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, because that's maybe what I'm thinking. Like that's what it could be. Like he's having like a full live band sort of album, and he's basically the Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? Or my worst fear is because Kendrick Lamar is promoting this PG Lang thing. What if his Big Steppers is like his little homies? Where like Tupac introduced the Outlaws and freaking Yaki Gaddafi and Mo Preem and all of them. Maybe this is his little the Big Steppers or the little homies. So we're gonna see a Baby Keem feature on this, I'm assuming, and some other little Compton ass niggas on this album. That's my worst.
He has the
fear.
right to do that.
He can do. He's Kendrick. I know.
I do think he could formulate or build crafts and styles together, where they'll be able to, create some magic.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, those are my two takes on that. Themes.
It's like SOB and RBE.
Yes.
Remember them?
Yes.
Like they don't exist
RBE.
anymore.
Oh, really? It broke up?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they broke up.
Damn. Oh well. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Themes, I don't know. I don't want to know. I want to go to this as blind as possible because every time Kendrick comes out with a new album, he always does something a bit new. Okay, he finds a way to reinvent himself, album after album. It's very few artists that can do that. Tyler's one of them. Kanye's another one. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is definitely on that lane where he doesn't recycle the same things. Where he doesn't recycle the same album, I know that was one of your critiques about that Busta Rhymes track. Remember that was in 2020? Look over your shoulder. He was like, why is he rapping like K-Dot? I was like, oh, I can tell you why he's rapping like K-Dot. The reason why is because that was supposed to be on Good Kid, Mad City. That's why. This is an 8-year-old record. You're like, oh, okay.
Listening to K-Dot flow while expecting the new Kendrick Lamar, it's like, oh, this is not good. He is a million times better than it. It's like listening to old Jay-Z. It's like, this is great. The new stuff is wild. Like if he was, if Jay-Z was able to redo, I think Volume 1, the second album, like it'll been much better.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Volume 1. He still got some slaps on Volume 1. Imaginary Players is still timeless in my opinion.
Volume 2 is where it's at. Okay.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he can definitely redo the Sunshine record. I feel like he gets a bad rap for that record. He was flowing, but like I get it. He was trying to be too much like Puff in that record.
That's why he
in
can't
Bad
listen
Boy.
to your A&Rs. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm hoping Kendrick could give us a single on his website. It's designed pretty interesting.
Oh, that
like a messed up desktop.
That asshole.
Folders, and I'm assuming first of all the link has the heart in it, so we're expecting the link 5. It's always like this prelude to his album. I always thought that's like an excellent idea. Love the Heartbreak 4, the Heartbreak 3.
Yes.
When Good Kid, Mad City was coming out, it's like, well, would you let hip hop die on
right? And then the Heart Part 2 was on Overly Dedicated.
Like May
I think
27th, something like that.
Yeah, I think the Heart Part 2 was the opening track of Overly Dedicated.
Yeah. So he definitely has a theme, and I'm hoping to get like a little single here and there, or pull like a Childish Gambino and just drop. This is old. I think 50 Cent did this a while ago too, where he would drop random singles that has nothing to do with the album. I would love to see that, but they don't want to do that.
I will say
nowadays.
This because I overanalyze Kendrick to a fault at times, and I saw this a lot too. And I wasn't the only one that thought this. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, why would there be another part of the heart, right? If a heart, like technically a regular heart, a human heart, only has 4 chambers, so that's why we haven't gotten any more heart series. So I don't know. What if he moves on to another organ or something?
No,
like the
I don't think
kidney,
it
the
works
kidney part one, because there's two
I don't-
kidneys. So the kidney part one, the kidney
I don't
part two,
think that was so stupid.
the
That's
lung
lame as
part
hell.
one, lung two. I'm just saying,
But
man, my dumbass legit thought that he was gonna come out in another album on Easter after Damn. Okay, so nothing gets past me when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, and I think that's needed in hip hop. Sometimes we need to analyze stuff because, you know, not a lot of the time, what's being fed to us, it can be a bit derivative at times. It doesn't really challenge us, allow us to think that much. And so whenever Kendrick comes out, you know, I like the fact that I look forward to listening to his albums more than once and getting something new every time that I'm listening to it, you know? And honestly, I just want to thank, you know, Kendrick or PG Lang or Oklama or whatever the hell for releasing that press, because, you know, we were gonna be hearing Jack Harlow's album, and I'm happy that he's getting sandwiched into some of the realists out here. You got Pusha T this week, next week is Future, then after that, punk ass Jack Harlow, then after that, it's The King. So you hear me, and you hear me well, all you artists out there, all you rappers specifically, do what you can. Do what you have to do. Get all your music out now. Get it all out now before May the 13th. Because I'm going to tell you what. Kendrick's here. He's coming back to claim the crown, claim that title. I don't want to hear any of your records. I don't want to hear that damn First Class song. I'm sick of it. Every time I'm on TikTok, First Class up in the sky. Fergie should be ashamed. I want to listen to Fergie, not that dumbass song. And Kendrick was like, you know what? Y'all have been suffering way too long. Let me bless you with something to look forward to. And I want to thank Kendrick for blessing me, for blessing hip hop, for blessing us with something to look forward to this coming May. That's all I want to say.
Take your lighters out. Thank you.
Bastion, do you like the First Class song from Jack Harlow?
I don't listen to Jack Harlow.
See, thank you, man. Jack Harlow.
It's not like I'll probably check out this album, but I'm
Yes.
to be honest, I'm not looking for it.
Good. Hey, no, I watched Morbius. You have to listen to the Jack Harlow record, okay? You have to listen to Jack Harlow. I saw Morbius for us, okay? I did it so you don't have to do it. And now you have to do this for me. Listen to Jack Harlow. Please.
Tell us about Morbius.
Morbius came out. Well, it was supposed to originally come out in January.
What is Morbius?
Morbius is a movie starring Jared Leto. It is a Sony Marvel-owned entity, which falls under the Sony Spider-Man universe. I like to call it the SSCU, or the Sony Spider-Man Cinematic Universe, which they've been trying to do now since the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And so initially, Bastion, with the raging success of Spider-Man No Way Home, the month after January, we were supposed to get the Michael Morbius film starring Jared Leto, where basically, you know, it's basically where his blood samples with a bat, and he gets bat powers and blah 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 blah. He feeds off of blood. He's a doctor with a blood disorder, and he's trying to find a cure. So he finds the cure with bat blood, basically, and he becomes a mutant. So initially, this was supposed to be happening in January. Now, I don't know if you know this, Bastion. January is synonymous in the film world for really bad movies to drop, just to get it out the way. However, you know, with the success of Spider-Man, I'm assuming, you know, Sony and Marvel wanted that train to keep on rolling, so they pushed it back. You know, they wanted Spider-Man to break all these damn records, which it ended up doing, and they pushed it back to April 1st, 2022. April Fool's Day, huh? Well, they made a big joke out of us because, shoot, I saw all on Twitter leading up to this movie about how bad this movie was. And so naturally, I'm like, hey, Bastion, you want to go see Morbius? And he's like, oh, no, screw you. I'm going to LA. I'm like, all right, fine, fair enough. So I gotta take one for the team here. All right, I'll do this. So what I did initially was I paid for one movie. Then I went to go see Sonic 2. And then I went to go see Morbius because I'm not spending my hard-earned money to go see Morbius first, because that'll just make me upset. So is Morbius bad? Is Morbius as bad as the people are making it out to see? I'm here to tell you, it's just boring. It's uninspiring. It's formulaic. Everything seemed forced. I don't know how you make Matt Smith like uninteresting. The only cool thing about that movie was the only one good scene, ironically enough, and again, this is the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe, is Matt Smith dancing, being evil, dancing. There's no real motivation. It's either the actors overact or underact. You don't care about the chemistry. You don't care about anything because of how fast the movie goes. I kid you not, Bastion. This is how the movie starts, right? Starts off in Costa Rica. Michael Morbius is on the helicopter. He gets out the helicopter. He's in the Bat Cave, and his workers who helicoptered him to the Bat Cave, they give him like this, I guess like this bat cage, right? And the bars are basically made out of harp string, right? He cuts his hand. And, you know, these bats in particular, they thrive off of human blood, right? And so all the bats just rush to him, right? And he's surrounding the all of the workers or whatever. The workers are trying their hardest to get away from the bats, and they're trying to get back into the helicopter. And then immediately there's a cut, there's a black screen, and then it goes 20 years in the past. That's how it starts, legit.
What?
Yeah. Everything just happened so fast paced. Everything, it didn't have time to breathe. So everything just kept going and going and going. There was no real, I honestly can't tell you that everyone's character. I can't tell you their personality. I can't tell you what really motivates them except for Morbius. That's about it. His thing is, you know, he's been blessed with this curse and he doesn't want to thrive off of human blood. So he initially made like synthetic blood, so that's his thing, but he's too much like a bat, so he wants human blood, and that's about it, really. That's it. And
that's not, it's like, what was the point of the movie? Did they want to use Morbius?
I'll tell you what the point was. So I don't know if you remember seeing the trailers, Bastion, but Michael Keaton was in the trailers. I'm spoiling it. This is it. Michael Keaton was in the trailer. Why is Michael Keaton in the trailers? Because Michael Keaton, for those of you who do not know, is Vulture in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the first ever Spider-Man, right? For Marvel, right? For the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So what happens is, Bastion, at the mid-credits, we saw the purple crack open in the sky, right? Which is the dimensions, the breaking of the dimensions. And we see Vulture pop up in jail, right? Handcuffed in jail. And he's like, whoa, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. So New York 1 is like, oh, hey, this guy just randomly popped up in the jail, and he's getting his immediate release, right? That's how it ends. Then more credits shown, and then boom, we get another credit, right? Where Morbius is driving in the middle of the desert, and then we see Michael Keaton with his Vulture gear and his hovercraft, and he's like, oh, you know, hey, I'm here because of Spider-Man. I'm here because this has something to do with Spider-Man, and I think we should team up. And he goes, oh, fascinating. So what they're trying to do again, Bastion, because they tried to do it 8 years ago, is create their own goddamn Sinister Six. That's why Michael Keaton is now part of the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe. So they're trying to do that again, Sinister Six, again.
With Tom Holland, I'm assuming?
I don't know, and I honestly, I hope not. I hope not. I hope to God that isn't the case.
Interesting.
Maybe Andrew
Very.
Garfield. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I hope it's not Tom Holland. I hope you keep his ass far away from the Sony
So what?
Spider-Man.
Morbius is in. I don't understand. I'm kind of lost.
So
here
Morbius
because-
is supposed to be in the comic books. He's supposed to be an anti-hero, right? But in this movie, he's clearly the hero because in the movie initially he was fighting his best friend who just wanted to kill people for the sake of killing people. Oh, his best friend Matt Smith got bat powers, and then he was just evil for the being evil. So
Oh, okay. The plot of Iron Man 1
yeah, he was just evil just
and
because
the
he was
plot
evil.
of Captain America 1.
Right. So Morbius in this, he was just straight up hero, right? And so, but yeah, that's how the movie really ends. Where
No, I'm confused. Like, what's the point
Please.
of Michael Keaton? Like, in the end of Spider-Man, everybody kind of went back to their world. Did Michael Keaton go back to his world?
no, like he's in the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe now.
That doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I'm sure like Sony just cut a deal with Marvel Studios, like, hey, can we borrow Michael Keaton? And they were like, all right, sure. He isn't that significant to the story anymore, so he is now in the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe now, Bastion, because of the whole multiverse theory.
Whack.
Yeah. And I honestly just want to say this. Do you remember that time back in, I want to say like 2017, 2018, where there was a dispute with Sony and Disney about, the rights of Tom Holland Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And everyone just had their theories. And, I had the theory of, maybe, Sony is just seeing the success of Spider-Man now, and they want to do their own thing, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if it was you or someone else. They were like, well, maybe what if Disney is bullying Sony to release Spider-Man to them? Like, what if Sony's just like, strong arming them to just like give up with the Spider-Man stuff? Let Marvel and Disney take care of Spider-Man. We have the track record. We've seen Sony's track record of screwing up Spider-Man. So you know what? Come to our side, right? And after seeing Morbius, you know what? I want to say, let Disney strong arm Sony for Spider-Man. You know why? Because I'm sick of these crappy ass Spider-Man cinematic universe movies, okay? Not since Venom, the first one, because I didn't even see the second one. And I heard the second one was bad too. Not since the first Venom. I felt uninterested. I was on my phone the whole time. I didn't care. I didn't care about one single freaking character.
Yeah.
It was just boring. It was just so uneventful. It was so to the T. It was just so predictable. It just felt ugh. That's what it felt. It's a strong 3 out of 10. It's garbage. It's garbage. That's what it is.
And interesting. Did you watch it? Okay, so that was negative. But what about some positives? Let's talk about Sonic before the end of the show.
Dude, Sonic 2 was a great freaking movie. It's a good sequel, man, which is rare nowadays. It's hard to get a better sequel than the original movie. This movie actually felt like a real Sonic film because, of course, you had the introduction of...
There's no such thing as a real Sonic film.
I'm sorry, of just real Sonic. It gets the real essence of Sonic, okay? So, because we get the introduction of Tails, and then we're introduced to Knuckles, who was initially first the villain who teamed up with Dr. Robotnik or Eggman or whatever, because Eggman said,
I don't need to spoil it, but it's the same as the video game, right?
Yeah, it's basically the same as the video game a little bit. I will say this though, I did not like the side plot. I felt like the side plot derived it just strayed away from the main plot, which was basically Kelly from Insecure was getting married to Shumar Moore in Hawaii. I'm not making that up. That's really happening in the movie. And I texted you about it. Yeah, and I texted you about it. I'm like, yo, Shumar Moore is in Sonic 2. Like, I'm not kidding. That's a real thing that happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I saw him, I'm like, Shumar Moore? What the hell are you doing here? This is Sonic. Yeah, he's getting married to Kelly from Insecure.
Okay, that's interesting. How was Idris Elba?
Idris Elba as Knuckles was freaking awesome. Knuckles is very stoic in this film. He's the last of the Echidnas, so he talks like Thor when he first landed on Earth in the first Thor movie, to give you an idea.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's really that sums him up perfectly. Powerhouse, all that sums him up perfectly. Tails, Tails is Tails. Sonic, they got his voice down perfect. They got all that, his screaming for Sonic and all that. Yeah, the gadgets great, the flying great. Sonic was great as usual again. Yeah, it's just a good movie, man. It's fun. Movies are supposed to be fun.
Sonic is very funny to me because I like him as an actor.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about these kind of movies like Sonic, right? It's supposed to be fun. You know what I'm saying? And you're not supposed to take this movie seriously, and I didn't take this movie too seriously because it's supposed to be a good time. This movie was a good time. And then that little ending, though, you know what I'm saying? The mid-credit ending, setting us up for something, Bash.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
All right, so this was Black Seinfeld, the show about absolutely nothing. Please check out our older episodes on any podcast form. Just type in Black Space Seinfeld. You'll be checking out our older episodes. We're also on social media, Black Seinfeld NY. And if you have any questions, please reach us out at blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Gio, any last words for the people?
See y'all again next week. We love you. Going out to some Sid featuring Lucky Day. This is Saiba. Take care, everyone. Peace.
Peace.